My name is Brian and welcome back to Desert Theory. Well, talk about a crazy couple weeks since the last race in Yerington, Nevada. Trying to get the videos uploaded, kids back to school, it's just been a wild time. So cars kind of got neglected since we washed it last. We got all the salt off. We're very happy. It's not rusting up at all, but we do have some issues. The car won't start right now. It appears, we kind of went through it a little bit. It appears that the cam timing sensor, there may be an issue with that. So what that does is there's a couple different notches on it, and it fires the spark plug and it fires the injectors, or makes the injectors squirt fuel in. So we were looking, trying to figure out why it wasn't starting. And it looks like spark plugs, it's got a spark, it's great, but the injectors are not firing. They're not doing that knock. So we had them out, we tested it. We think that we have zero spark on the injectors, which means no fuel is getting into the cylinders. So digging through a bunch of the spare packets with this car, remember we haven't had it that long, there's like 6 cam timing sensors. So kind of leads us to believe that there could be some issues with the Motec system and the cam timing sensors with all that. So I think we're gonna pull that sensor off tonight, see if we can get this thing to start. And if it does, we're gonna be extremely happy and we'll be done with that problem, and then maybe move on to dropping some transaxle fluid, kind of getting to go through this thing just a little bit before we're out next. So that's where we are. Let's get going. Okay, so this is where the cam timing sensor comes up and plugs in. And what it does is it runs down this rail and it runs to the injectors right here. We have this one off, and then it runs over to the little coil packs that fire the spark plug. So we need to figure out why our injectors aren't working. So there's some ways to test that. So we'll get that pulled off and then see if we can test it. There's some ohm tests on it. There's also just some other ones. So we can compare it against our spares, doing an ohm test, figure out if one's looking better, working better than the other, or where we go from there. Okay, so this is a really awkward spot we're getting up into here. Trying to reach up through all this stuff and get a wrench on it. Then you can see these. Now these are just gonna go around and fire that little cable somehow. Don't even know how. Okay, so this is the little bracket that the cam timing sensor goes through, and they just have a ton of RTV glue on it. It was fairly loose, so kind of working to get that off. I think I'm gonna have to put the camera down because I need 2 hands, but it's part way out. Okay, so it's loose, just hanging down here. That's all it is. It's kind of wrapped around the alternators. Oh, it's out. Okay, so I ran out of talent. I tried figuring out testing this. I didn't have a book or anything, so I gave up.
I don't know if I know what any better.
So I brought one of the others that was here, one of the cam timing sensors that was here, and I installed it. Kelly just showed up. He's testing this thing, but we have a new sensor on, so we're gonna just see if this thing won't fire. Crossing our fingers. Kelly's testing.
Parts change it. We're just gonna change parts and hope, cross our fingers.
That's totally what I did. But I said I ran out of talent already. All right, Kel. 63. We got fuel pressure. Everything looks good. Start.
Okay. Did you look at the, make sure injectors were all plugged back in?
Yeah.
Your side. This side looks
So
good.
I just plugged this injector back in.
Okay. And
so we had that one off because we took another injector to see if it was working.
You checked that, and that is plugged in there.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. And then the crank trigger, you plugged it back in, right? The new one.
Yeah, I put it on there. I didn't gap it exactly right, but Kelly was thinking somewhere close to a 16th, so we're there.
Yeah, it said 40 to 60 thou gap on that, so we'll just check that.
But we're just gonna fire it up now, and she's gonna start. Right?
Got you. I mean, we can probably get a big one can hold. Come on, baby. Talk to me. Hello. Fire in a hole. There we go. Hello.
That's a little better, Kelly.
Woo. So the crank trigger. Wow. And then the one we had in the box it's a good one.
Yeah. Which that was a little scary, right? We were changing out parts that were old and used. We didn't know if maybe they came off and didn't work and got put in the box. So pretty happy that we didn't have a whole bunch of bad ones here. It is kind of an indicator that there's four sensors
in the box.
In the box.
In
so
spare parts,
I'm guessing this might be a problem. We might want to get a couple new ones on order and have some new spares for ourselves. So, but pretty dang cool. This thing's running. After we put it away after washing it, this has had us pretty nervous for a little while. So I'm glad it's running. Okay, so Kelly and I are pretty much ecstatic right now. That was big that this thing fired up. We got some phone calls today. We got some exciting news that we can't share, but it's exciting, and hopefully it comes to fruition. But we had to have a running car for any of it to happen. So great news tonight. Kelly and I couldn't have been happier. What we're gonna do tonight is we're gonna kind of clean this thing up. Kelly's gonna get this thing clearance or gapped correctly right now. And then after that's done, we're gonna push this thing out back a little bit, let it warm up, wake up the neighbors. A little bit, yeah, we are going to do that.
Yeah, the neighbors like us.
Yeah. Sorry, Dan. And so we're gonna get it warmed up, then we're gonna dump engine oil and transaxle fluid and get this thing, just make sure we don't have any problems. So it's kind of the same thing as it needed to run. Now we need to find no problems in the engine oil and the transaxle oil. So that's what we're doing right now, but we're doing it with a lot better attitude because that's where we thought we may have a problem. So Kelly's just trying to get those feeler gauges in there between the magnet and the sensors.
Well, it's more than 35. Oh yeah. Easy. Okay. I think we're good, Brian.
Woo!
It's more than 40, but it's not 45. So
it's supposed to be between 40 and 50 thousandths. I got lucky, just kind of eyeballing it, and Kelly just saw that. So
yeah,
we definitely kind of need to figure out some stuff. The one I took off there was a little bit loose, even though there was a ton of RTV glue on it. So there's definitely some issues with that. But
there's a ton of vibration here.
Yeah. Okay, so we got it hot enough that the Motec turned on the fans. So all the engine oil got hot because the engine's running. So the transaxle, even though we jacked it up, but you're really not gonna build much heat letting it run on the jack. But it does transfer some heat because all that radiator fluid goes through there. And that is also the cooler for the transaxle. But in this case, it kind of warmed it up because we're not going hard enough to get anything hot enough to where it needs to cool down. So as that transaxle oil gets pumped through here, this heat exchanger right here, that antifreeze is actually going to warm that oil up. So it should be good enough to drain. So we can start getting some of this stuff drained, and that'll be kind of our final questions on whether we can go run at that event we're talking about. So draining.
I guess I could start dumping the dry sump. Let that thing just keep petering for a little while.
You have another bucket?
Well, yeah, I do. I have this thing.
Not that we'd get major chunks out of this, but I still think that we would have like some glitter or something bad looking, you know?
You still think what, Brian?
I don't think we'd have like chunks because it's coming out of this hose and they just settle to the bottom.
I
Right?
know! I want the magnet!
But I think that we'd have some glitter, you know?
Yeah. We'll run it through that filter again, you know?
So our list of things to do tonight really wasn't that big. And we got the thing that's been weighing on both Kelly and my mind for a while here, which was the car didn't run. So it's really cool that's running. We've got oil drained. It looks pretty good. We'll run it through filters here probably in a couple weeks. We got some weird stuff coming up. So it's that time of the year where I'm going to go back and go farming. So I'm leaving next Wednesday. And I'm going to be probably 1 week behind on a video, and I'm going to be in Iowa, and I'm going to be doing corn and soybean harvest. So pretty excited for that. It's just, it's a really fun vacation for me, and I get to go help Uncle Mike. So pretty neat opportunity. Kelly will probably do some stuff. Maybe he'll send some snaps and, or not some snaps, but some videos, and I'll throw them up on Instagram if he's out here working on anything. But yeah, some exciting times. So next week, the next video after this will be farming. So Desert Theory gets taken over on Farm Week. So like I said, this is just a quick video tonight. Not much done. Can't tell you how much we appreciate you watching, liking, and subscribing. So thank you all so incredibly much.